very welcome to join me this morning for a Yin Yang beginner's yoga practice. When we regularly practice Yang Yoga, which is more of an active practice, and then we add a little bit of Yin Yoga, which is a more passive practice, and throw in a little bit of breathing and add some mindful relaxation, we start to create a natural balance between our upper and lower, our inner and outer, our yin and our yang energies and our aspects of our body and mind, creating a sense of balance, a sense of wholeness. And that today is our theme for class, guys. It is our breath, creating balance within. So during practice today, we're going to set an intention to allow yourselves to be fully present, to be here and arrive in the moment and arrive on your mat, and be aware as we flow in and out of each of the poses. And be present with whatever comes up, whether that is any thoughts, any feelings. Notice how you feel as we journey in and out of each of the poses today. And then tune into your breath, to allow that breath to release any tension, to unwind any stress or strains, or extending the breath. See if you can feel the breath as it circulates, as it starts to improve how it circulates around the body. But always watch how you're feeling today. If there's anything doesn't feel good, please leave it out, okay? This is your practice and you only want to do what feels good for you. Remember, stay present with how you're feeling today. So we're going to start off today with a little bit of breathing, pranayama, or ujjayi, or victorious breath. And this is a strong, slow, diaphragmatic breath, which allows a deeper intake of oxygen into every cell, and it helps to fully release any carbon dioxide, which really enriches our blood. This breathing also strengthens the lungs and the diaphragm, and we start to slow down the passage of air as we breathe in slower and deeper. This has a calming effect on our nervous system, boosting our immune system. And as this happens, our body starts to relax and our mind starts to quieten, allowing us to melt into yoga poses more graciously and aware and present. To start off with this breath, we're going to sit nice and tall. You may want to sit on a blanket, guys. It helps to really lift up through the spine. We can allow the hands to rest on the knees, or the hands can rest on the lap, with the right hand on top of the left hand, and the thumbs can touch. Helps to relax through the shoulders and the neck. The palms face up, just so that we're open to whatever comes our way, and hopefully that is awareness of our breath and our centering. To practice ujjayi breath, this victorious breath, we're first of all going to bring our awareness to the breath, entering and leaving the mouth. So with the big inhale, feel that breath entering from the front to the back of the throat. And as you exhale, feel that breath flowing from the back to the front of the throat. And think about a lovely ha sound, like a baby whispering or snoring. And as you make that gentle ha snoring sound, you'll find that you're contracting the glottis at the back of the throat. And by doing this, we start to produce that ujjayi breath. You can continue to keep the mouth open as you practice, or you can allow the lips to close. A little space becomes between the lips. And we breathe in and out through the nose, but we focus on the breath entering and leaving from the front to the back and the back of the front of the throat. So as we sit nice and tall, we can allow the shoulders to relax, the chin tucks down gently towards the chest, and the eyes close. And before we start our victorious breath, just bring your awareness to the nostril tip and be aware of the breath as it enters and leaves the body through both nostrils. Taking this time to tune into your breathing pattern. Noticing if your breath is smooth and rhythmical, or if it's full of little jerks and pauses. With each in-breath, the body sits a little taller. With each out-breath, the shoulders soften a little more. And you can begin your Ujjayi breath. Allowing this breath to be slow, to be long. Maybe adding a count to each in-breath and each out-breath. Inhaling for a count of 3 or 4 or 6. And exhaling for 3 or 4 or 6. Allowing each in-breath to flow into each out-breath to each in-breath. Or notice if there is a little pause between each in-breath and each out-breath you take. Remember, if you have mastered that gentle contraction to the back of the throat, you can close the lips. Continue with that breath, feeling it all around the lungs, the diaphragm. Expanding and contracting. Remembering your intention, using the breath to create a balance within. The eyes to flick open. Just take a moment to see how you feel. And we'll start to move. We'll start into our Yang practice now. Fingertips can come to the floor in front of you and we can lengthen. And as we walk the hands forward, think about falling forward from the hips, not from the waist. Grounding the buttock bones down, the fingers are nice and wide and we're pressing the hands into the mat. Taking the gaze towards the thumbs, then you can tuck the chin towards the chest, allowing the head to relax. Strong in those arms, draw the shoulders away from the ears towards those hips. Gently lifting the pelvic floor muscles, drawing the navel in. And taking the breath into the back of the body. Staying in that lovely Ujjayi breath if it feels good. Or simply trying to be present and notice each breath that you take. Walking those hands back up. Remember, Hatha Yoga is about bringing balance into the body and into the mind and the energy. So we're going to change the cross in the legs for our second Sukhasana. Again, we can lengthen. Nice breath in. And as we breathe out, you can walk those fingertips forward. Keep hinging forward from the hips. Spreading wide through those fingers, cupping the hands in towards the mat, drawing the buttock bones down. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Your eyes can remain to look forward, especially if you have high or low blood pressure. Or you can soften the chin to the chest and allow the head to completely relax. Taking a few breaths here, really opening into the lower back, opening into the pelvis, stretching the back of the body, creating space in the back of the body for the breath. And walking the hands back up now. And we can draw the legs behind and roll over onto tabletop pose. Now you might want to kneel on your blanket, okay, especially if you have any narky knees. Now those hands go underneath the shoulders for tabletop. Knees are underneath the hips, and spread those fingers really wide and press into the hands. But draw into that thumb and the index finger so you're not taking too much of the stress into the outer part of the hand. And then we draw into the pads of the middle finger, the ring finger and the baby finger. Shoulders are away from the ears. The eyes are looking down between the thumbs, the neck's nice and long, the pelvic floor engaged. And we're going to start to move in lovely Rudy Goose pose. So as we inhale, thread the chest through, the tailbone tucks back, the chin looks forward. And as we exhale, draw the tailbone under and encourage the hips back towards the heels. Keep looking between those thumbs. Inhaling, rolling up to the knees, we thread the chest forward, the shoulders roll back, pelvic floor engaged. And as we exhale, tailbone rolls under and we encourage the hips back towards the heels. Tuning into your breath here, inhaling, we float forward, chest threads through. Careful of how your lower back feels, guys. Up to you how much you tip the tailbone back. Exhale, rolling tailbone under. You'll feel the lower back and pelvis release as we take the hips back to the heels. 2 more, inhaling, rolling forward. The further your shoulders go over your wrists, the more we're working into the wrists. Exhaling, hips go back towards those heels. Chakrapakasana, Rudy Goose pose. Last one. Inhaling, we thread the chest through, the shoulders back. And as we exhale, the tailbone tucks under and we take the hips back towards the heels. On an inhale, let's stand on those knees and step that right leg forward, hands down either side of that right foot. And you can tuck the left toes under and slide that left knee back. Finding our alignment, we're drawing the right hip bone back, the left hip bone forward. You might want to place your hands on some books or onto something that's going to lift them up, onto a bolster. And we lengthen through the side body. The shoulders are back and down. And bring your awareness to the breath, directing the breath to where you feel the stretch in the back of that left leg. Thinking about the breath, stroking that back inner thigh as it stretches. Keep allowing the shoulders to relax. Keep tuning into that ujjayi breath or breath awareness. Keep pointing through those back left toes, lovely and active. If it feels comfortable on an inhale, sweep those arms forwards and up. Again, we drop the shoulders down. The shoulders are square. The right hip bone draws back. And we lunge a little more forward. Softening the shoulders away from the ears. Don't allow the right knee to drop out. Keep it in line with the second or baby toe. And as we exhale, hands either side of the right foot, and we step that right knee back and hips go back towards the heels, Balasana, child's pose. Or the knees can be nice and wide, toes touching. Gently rocking the hips side to side. And then slowly standing back up onto the knees, the toes can tuck under, cores engaged as we step that left leg forward. Fingertips either side of that left foot. This time, left hip draws back, right hip bone draws forward. We can draw that right knee back. So you're going to really feel that nice stretch in that right inner thigh. Hands stay on the floor to start off with, allowing the pelvis to soften down. Lovely for your lower back. If it feels good for you today, guys. Keep drawing the nose towards the toes, lengthening through the back of the neck. The shoulders are relaxed. And as we inhale, we can sweep those arms forwards and up, or keep those hands onto the knees as a variation, or fingers onto the floor, guys. Again, squaring off the shoulders, squaring off the hips. Keeping that left knee in line with the left hip bone. The shoulders are relaxed. Starting to bring the breath into, or aware of the breath, into that right inner thigh. Allowing the breath to soften the tension there, to release the stretch as we hang out for 4 or 5 breaths. And on an exhale, we can bring the hands back down, step that left knee back, and hips go back towards the heels. Knees can be wide or knees can be together. Spreading through those fingers now, cupping those fingers into the floor, or those hands into the floor. The shoulders are back and away from the ears. Inhaling up to table, toes tuck under, hips back towards the heels, and we lift those knees up. Eyes look between the thumbs. Knees stay deeply bent, guys, as we lengthen through the upper body, encouraging the chest to the thighs. Eyes can look between the thumbs, grounding into that thumb and that index finger and drawing into the pads of the other fingers. Shoulders are away from the ears. We can allow the head to soften. And we can paddle out through those feet. So as we drop one foot to the heel, the other foot lifts up onto the ball of the foot, and we start to gently paddle. A lovely time to go back into our intention, our breath. Allowing the breath to flow freely, diaphragmatically. Think of that victorious Ujjayi breath. Opening up into the hamstrings as we paddle through the feet. Remember, stay as long as feels good for you. Head completely relaxes. Then we can drop back to the knees. They can stay together or wide, and the hips go back towards the heels. Forehead can rest on the floor. You can rest the forehead onto the 2 fists, or the forehead on the floor, and the arms can soften down by the sides to relax the wrists and the shoulders. Again, a lovely time to tune into the breath. We can visualize the breath entering through the tailbone and traveling up to the nape of the neck as we breathe in. And as we exhale, that breath travels from the nape of the neck down to the tailbone. The shoulders will relax. And the hips will soften back and down. Sliding those hands forwards now. We're going to do a variation of Surya Namaskar, a floor-seated Surya Namaskar. So as we inhale, we're going to do 5 rounds, see how we get on. Inhaling up onto the knees, Rudy Goose, chest draws through, shoulders are back, pelvic or floor engaged. Exhale, scooping tailbone under, taking hips back towards the heels. As we inhale now, reach those arms up, kneeling, reaching the arms up, shoulders are back and down. Exhale, draw the elbows down. Think about setting your hips back towards those heels, core engaged. Inhale, we reach back up to kneeling, arms up in line with those ears. And as we exhale, hips go back towards the heels, arms lengthen forward. Inhale, stretching forward, threading the chest through, shoulders are back, creating energy, creating heat in the body. As we exhale, scoop tailbone under, hips go back towards those heels. Inhaling, standing on the knees, reaching the fingers up towards the sky. Exhaling, hips go back. Think of your cactus arms, drawing the shoulders down. Big inhaling, we press back up. And as we exhale, hips back towards the heels, arms long. Let's add, inhale, we roll forward, threading chest through, shoulders are away from the ears, chin looks up. Exhale, tailbone tucks under, hips back towards the heels. As we inhale, stretch the arms up, kneeling. And as we exhale, encourage hips back towards the heels. Inhale, we stretch back up. And as we exhale, bring the arms back down. Inhaling, we roll it forward and step right leg between the hands, lengthen through the chin, lengthen through the body, and as we exhale, right knee steps back. Inhaling, we roll forward. You can stand on the knees to step the left leg through. Back again, chin, lengthen. And exhale, hips go back towards those heels. Inhaling, we roll up onto those knees, the toes tuck under. Exhale, bottoms up, bottoms back, dog head down. Inhaling, back to the knees. And exhaling, balasana, hips back towards those heels. Tuning into the breath, remembering your intention. Inhaling, we draw chest forward, shoulders are back. And exhaling, tailbone tucks under, hips go back towards the heel. Inhaling, standing tall in the knees, core engaged. Exhaling, hips back towards the heels, cactus arms, drawing chin back, belly in. Inhale, we push back up. And exhale, hips back towards the heels. Inhaling to table, stretching of right leg forward, lunging. And exhaling, right leg steps back, hips back towards the heels. Inhaling, we roll forward, stepping left leg between the hands as we lunge. And exhaling, hips back to the heels. Fingers are spread, cupping the hands, inhaling up onto tabletop. Toes tuck under, exhale, bottoms up, bottoms back, Ardha Mukha Shavasana. Inhaling, back down to the knees. Toes untucked, exhale, hips back to the heels. Start to feel the heat flowing, guys, the energy expanding, inhaling. Chest threads through. Pressing strongly out of the hands, exhale, hips go back towards the heel. Inhaling, lungs expand, we stretch those arms up, victorious breath. Exhaling, hips go back towards the heels, cactus arms. Inhale, we push back up. And exhale, hips back towards the heels, look between those thumbs. Inhaling, we draw forward. Remember, you can give that right leg a helping hand as we thread the chest through, your hands to knees. Exhaling, we step back, hips back to heels. Inhaling, we reach forward, stepping the left leg between the hands and lunge. And as we exhale, left knee or left foot steps back. Inhaling, back onto the knees, tabletop, toes under, exhale, bottoms up, bottoms back, dog head down. Back to the knees now as we breathe in. Toes tuck and exhale, hips back towards the heel. Last round, inhaling, threading the chest through, really trying to focus on that breath, on your intention. Exhale, hips back towards the heel. Big inhale, we stand on the knees, reach out. Exhale, set your hips back, lovely for knees strengthening. Inhale, we reach back up. And exhale, hips go back towards the heel. Inhale, stretch forward, right leg comes to as we encourage the chest through. Exhale, step right leg back, hips back to heels. Inhaling, let's reach forward, left leg steps through. Hips are going to feel delicious after this, guys. And exhale, we step back. Inhaling up onto the knees, toes tuck under. Exhaling, bottoms up, bottoms back. Staying here for a few breaths. Knees can stay soft. Really think about the length in the upper body first, from the fingers to the shoulders. Then the shoulders drop away from the ears and start to feel the back really widen. core is engaged, head is relaxed, or eyes can look between the thumbs. Think of a little string on the tailbone lifts up, and then the bottom bones push back. The knees can stay soft, remember, or you can start to engage those thigh muscles, lifting them away from the knees, softening the heels down, and start to expand your breath into every cell in your body, directing your breath to where you feel these delicious stretches. Slowly back to the knees now. Toes untuck and hips go back towards the heels. Knees can be wide or together again. The arms can relax by the sides or remain in front. Forehead can soften down or forehead can go onto the fists. Just taking a few breaths here. How does your breath feel now? Remember to stay present into what comes up for you today, any thoughts, any emotions, any feelings. Honour them and then tap back into your breath. Let's roll forward now onto our bellies. The blanket's lovely for underneath the hip bones. And we can lengthen down. We're going to go into a lovely locust pose or salabhasana, which strengthens the whole of the back body while opening and lengthening into the chest. Really helps to strengthen the back and can also create a little sense of calm, but we're going to take it nice and gently, guys. We can rest the chest down onto the floor and rest the forehead onto the hands and allow the shoulders to relax and lengthen away through those legs. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, we lift up onto the elbows, and those elbows are underneath the shoulders. We can place the hands around the elbows, and that is a nice guideline to where those shoulders or those elbows should be. And if that's a little bit too much in the back, you can walk those elbows away. The hands can go forward, or you can continue to hold on to them, and then allow the chest to soften down, forehead to soften. Lengthening through those legs now, engaging through those thighs, drawing the front of the feet onto the floor. As we inhale, we press into the elbows, the chest lifts and thread through. As we lift and lengthen through that back leg, back right leg, lifting through the back thigh bone. Exhale, we slowly lower forwards and down. Inhaling, we can lift up through the chest and lift and lengthen through that left leg. And exhale, we can lower down. If it's too much, remember you can do legs only. Inhaling, we can lift and lengthen through that right leg, keeping those hip bones firmly rooted into the ground. Exhaling, slowly lowering down. Inhaling, we can lift and lengthen through the left leg. Exhaling, abdominals and lungs contract, and we lower down. If you prefer, we can inhale, just lift up through the chest. Don't worry about the legs. Shoulders are away and down, and exhale, we lower. So we choose our variation. Inhaling, we lift and lengthen. And exhale, we lower. Again, tapping into your breath, tapping into your intention. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we lower. And as you lift and lengthen, think about squeezing the buttock, squeezing and engaging that right thigh muscle, pointing and opening through those toes. Exhaling, we lower. Allow the jaw to soften, the shoulders to relax away from those ears, where we carry so much tension. Exhale, we lower. If you wish, this time on an inhale, we can lift upper and lower body. And we take a few breaths here. The shoulders are back and down. We're reaching either strongly into those elbows. For variation, now those thighs are going to want to roll away. So think of little magnets drawing the thighs, the inner thighs towards each other. If you wish, you can ease down a little bit and bring those arms behind and lift upper and lower body. Chin can draw forward, shoulders release back. Keep pressing through those legs, through those toes. And exhale, slowly lower down. We can rest the head on the forearms again. You can draw one knee up to release any tension in the lower back. And notice your breath here. Notice your heart rate might have elevated ever so slightly as back bends tend to lift the heart rate. So just taking a breath until it slows. And we'll lengthen that leg back down. And do one more Salabhasana, whatever variation is good for you. Remember, full one, you can draw the arms behind or by those sides. Lengthening through those toes, engaging the thighs, squeezing the buttocks. Inhale, we can lift upper and lower body. Chin can draw forward. We can interlace or bind those hands if you wish and draw the shoulders away. The arms can lift up and drawing the palms away. Squeezing the inner thighs towards each other, pointing and opening through the toes. And you might find that as you breathe, you move in locust pose. And exhaling, slowly lowering down, relaxing the head again to the other side, and the other knee can draw up to relax and release. Sliding that left leg or the other, that extended leg down. And very gently roll over onto your backs, guys. And lying on your backs, chin tucks down towards the chest. We're going to draw the knees in towards the chest. And gently draw those knees away. Keep holding on to the knees with the hands. And then draw the knees back in. Nice little way to release the tension or the stress that we've created in Salabhasana. Just easing out those lower back muscles. And we can gently circle those knees. Nice gentle practice today, guys. We're now going to change direction with the circle. As we think about moving into our Yin Yoga session, we're going to focus on 2 yin poses today. Now, unlike our yang tissues, our yin tissues of our ligaments, our joints, our tendons, our bones, our fascia, they don't really like much movement. So we tend to stay in a pose for longer. And once we get into that pose, we arrive in the pose and then we find an edge. We find a place where we feel a little bit of sensation or tension. And then we tune into the breath and allow the breath to help to open and release the tension in that joint or in the ligaments. And then we remain for a certain amount of time, guys. First pose that we're going to do is threading the needle or thread the eye of the needle. And we have various ways that we can get into this, okay? We can make sure the shoulders are back and down. You might even want to place the blanket underneath your head. And allow the back to feel nice and wide, nice and long. The arms rest down by the sides. And we are gently going to place that right ankle over the left knee. And allow the right knee to feel heavy and relaxed. The hips are nice and square. Gravity will naturally do the work here as we're opening up into that right hip. If you want to make this pose a little harder, we can find a wall. And easing back, the sole of the left foot goes onto the wall and the right heel ankle drops over the knee. You can even place the right hand to the knee and gently draw it away. Those arms can lengthen down by the sides. Chin tucks down towards the chest. And think of those 3 principles or tattvas that we have in Yin Yoga. So we want to arrive at that edge, that place where we feel a little bit of sensation or stretch. And we don't want to go too deep too soon in Yin Yoga. We want to take time. Stay curious about how the body feels and wait for it to relax and release so that you can take each pose a little bit deeper. Once you arrive in the moment, let the eyes close. And we make a little resolve to ourselves to remain still. Stillness of body. Awareness of breath. Stillness of mind as we tune into the breath. And we linger for a short time, around 1 more minute. As we linger for longer, we start to increase the flexibility and the circulation of energy and blood flow through that right hip. Tapping into our meridians, our energy centers, our energy lines of our liver and our spleen. In the inside of the right leg and the gallbladder into the outer right hip. As you stay in this pose, you might feel tension creeping back in, so remain present and allow the body to relax, allow the knee to open a little further. Allowing the breath to extend to every cell in the body. Finding a space where silence is good. Silence is your friend. And we can slowly release that right ankle and bring the knees into the chest. And again, we can circle those knees a few times in one direction and a few times in the other direction. And the feet can either go back to the floor or the feet can go onto the wall. Feel that nice sensation, your energy flowing into the outer hip as you have improved your circulation. Improved that flow of energy through the hip into the lower back. We can place that left heel over the right knee now and allow that left knee to feel heavy. Gravity naturally takes it down. Shoulders are relaxed. Chin's tucked down towards the chest and we can close the eyes. And we want to find stillness. If you don't feel any sensation, we want to be a about sensation between 1 and 10. We want to be sitting at about 4 or 5 or 6 in this pose, where we can feel somewhat of a sensation and opening into the left hip. You can gently press the left knee further away to deepen the stretch, but remember to wait and stay curious until the body starts to open up. Remember that resolve to remain still. And tune into your breath. Gently directing that breath, visualizing the breath entering into the left hip, stroking and soothing and nourishing. Be aware if tension is creeping into your jaw or your shoulders, allow them to relax. And if you find lots of thoughts coming into your mind, start to add a count to your breath. Counting the breath backwards from 15 to 0. Staying present with your breath. Releasing any thought. Extending that breath to tap into your rest and digest response. Notice what happens in your body as you breathe. After 90 seconds or so, you'll start to feel that hip open a little bit more. There'll be a shift. Notice those shifts, those tiny movements. As the body starts to open, releasing deep tension from the fascia. A deep connective tissue that surrounds all of our bones or muscles or joints, which gets tighter and more dense as we age. Yin Yoga really helps to release and lengthen and strengthen these connective tissues. And slowly we can release that left knee in, bringing the knees into the chest. Gently circling the knees a few times in one direction and a few times in the other direction. How do you feel? How does the breath feel? It should feel a little slower, a little longer, a little more relaxed, calmer even. And our last pose now is twisting roots or spinal twist. Twisting at the end of our practice really helps to bring a sense of balance into the body, as well as strengthening the spine and the pelvis, and strengthening and opening into the chest and the shoulders. We're going to draw that right knee in towards the chest and lengthen the left leg nice and long. But allow that left leg to relax. The shoulders are relaxed. And holding on to that right knee with the left hand, Right arm goes behind the head and we look over towards the right shoulder and draw that right knee over towards the floor to the left. Just to where you feel that sense of stretch into that right outer hip. If you have a bolster or blocks or anything to help prop, pillows are good whenever they're all stuffed up. We can allow that knee to soften down. That will help and allow the body to relax. The leg, the length of the leg underneath can soften. And we can turn the eyes to look over that right shoulder a little bit more. Once we find that edge, that point of sensation, close the eyes, allow the belly to relax, shoulders to relax, the chest softens further to the right as it opens. We find that space, that presence with our breath. We linger. And it's in this time that the magic happens. The body starts to relax. It starts to open. We remain still. We have two exceptions to this rule. If you feel any pain whatsoever, ease back or out of the pose. Or once the body starts to open up, that knee may draw a little further away. We want the right shoulder to remain grounded. We don't want it to lift. Directing the breath into the whole of the lower back. Maybe noticing those pauses between the breath. Noticing those pauses or space between thoughts. Slowly pull back up. This time we go to Savasana, lengthening the legs out long, the legs and the feet flop outwards. The shoulders soften away from the ears, the tongue or the chin tucks towards the chest, the eyes closed. A lovely time to feel the energies flowing into that right side of the hip. A time to feel any blockages shifting emotionally, physically, mentally. That right leg long now, we can draw the left knee into the chest. Holding on to the left knee with the right hand, left arm goes up and out past that left shoulder if it feels comfortable or in line. Keeping that left shoulder grounded down, we draw that left knee over to the right. Just where we feel some stress, some tension, some opening into that left hip. The eyes can close when we find that edge, that point of sensation. And allow the body to relax. The belly softens. The chest relaxes, the shoulder relaxes, the head can look further over to the left to open into the right side of the neck. Right shoulder softens down. And we connect to your breath. Improving the flow of energy through the body. Allowing yourselves to tap into a sense of calm, to be happy with your own space and in your own presence. Start to feel that edge shift, and you might want to take it a little deeper. Allowing time, that magic component to work its magic. Increasing the flow of energy through liver and spleen, meridian line, kidneys or urinary bladder. Taking time to sit with our emotions or feelings. And for those emotions and feelings to be okay, to honour you. We slowly can roll back up. And we end in Shavasana. The feet are hip width apart or shoulder width apart. The legs and the feet flop outwards. Draw the tailbone forward. Allow the back to relax, to widen, to lengthen. The arms rest down by the sides. We roll the shoulders away from the ears. Rolling the shoulders back and down and away from the ears, and allowing the upper back to soften down. The chin tucks down towards the chest. Fingers are curled naturally in towards the palms. The eyes close. The lines in the forehead soften and the eyes soften back into their sockets. The cheeks and the jaws relax. And the body feels heavy. Savasana, a time to become healthier, to become younger, to become whole, to rest. Time to notice your energies flowing through the practice. A time to notice your breath breathing your body. your intention again. Remaining present with your breath. Allowing breath to bring a sense of balance. Wiggle the fingers and toes now as we bring our awareness back into the body. And we can stretch our arms and our legs away. Bend the legs, and on your own time roll over onto whatever side of your body feels good. Whatever side feels good for you, and take a little bit of time here. How do you feel? How does your breath feel? How does your mind and your energy feel? And in your own time, we can press back up to sitting. Coming to easy cross-legged once again. Sitting nice and tall, bringing the hands to the heart center. The thumb knuckles can rest into the heart as we bow our chin towards our chest. Yoga is the dance of every cell with the music of every breath that creates inner serenity and harmony. Thank you for joining me all today on the mat, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Namaste.